What is up? Welcome to the April 2024 market update. And it's fully spring here in Arizona. We're all enjoying this beautiful weather. We've had Final Four here. We've got baseball season. We've got the Suns hopefully going into the playoffs. We've got all kinds of good stuff happening. Incredibly busy all over town. And it's really, really busy in the real estate market. So many things are happening. I know we've talked about all these NAR lawsuits and the things that are going on with that in the past. We're not going to talk a lot about that today. There is many things that are probably going to be coming down with the pipe with that, but for right now, I think there's a lot more uncertainty than there is certainty, and I don't want to tell you things that end up not being true. So I would say by next month or maybe the month after, we're really going to be able to dig in this and kind of understand what the short-term ramifications are for this. Long-term, I think there's going to be some other stuff, and we will talk about that as it happens. But in the meantime right now, the market is unfazed. We are still really pushing along. Our pendings are up. Our inventory is down slightly. Our average and median sales prices are up slightly from month over month. Our month supply is down again from about just under 3 to 2.5. So we are still firmly in a seller's market. And I know I've used that word bifurcated in the past, and ultimately it is a bit of a bifurcated market. We're seeing lots of price reductions and lots of stuff selling right away because some sellers are really trying to push the price. And a lot of buyers, because of interest rates, and we'll talk about that in a second, and what's going on with inflation, are being priced out. But ultimately, what we're not seeing is prices drop yet, which is really, really interesting and counterintuitive for most people. And as we've discussed in the past, it's been kind of hanging around like that for the last month. So why is that? And I think there's a lot of reasons. Obviously, supply and demand in that inventory situation has got to loosen up. And as long as rates stay high, people are still going to have those golden handcuffs on their houses, and not as much inventory is going to come on that needs to. So I think that is a reality. But yesterday, the consumer price index numbers came out for inflation, and they were hot, so higher than expected, right? And so most likely that means the Fed cutting rates in June and probably maybe even July now is off the table. And today, right before I started filming this, PPI came out, which is Producer Price Index. Well, so what's interesting and what's happened is inflation has been really, really hot on the consumer price index side. But what we're seeing on the producer price index, so like how much is it costing the producers to make the stuff? It's actually, the inflation's cooled down quite a bit. So as we head into earnings season right now, what I'm expecting to see is big profits from the big companies, because the stuff's not costing them more to make, but the consumer's paying more than they've ever paid before. And if you went out, I think I went out to Mexican food the other day, and for tacos and a beer for my wife and I, it was $72. So, I think we're all feeling that right now, right? We know that the cost of the taco didn't go up that much. And so on the home side, a lot of buyers are feeling this. Well, why, with high rates and all of the things that are happening, aren't the prices coming down? And again, it just comes back to so much supply and demand. And across the country, we are seeing pockets where prices have softened up a little bit, but here in Arizona, we are just really going strong. And it's just the growth of the city. I think more and more people are realizing this is a pretty great place to live. And as they move in, of course, we all want to shut the door behind us, but that's not how this is going to work, it doesn't seem. More companies are coming. They're realizing we're working, our relocation side is really busy right now. And so all of those things combined with that golden handcuff situation is really tying people up. Ultimately, how I think this plays out in combination with our lawsuit that is going on with NAR is, unless the inventory changes, unless something happens with our economy here in the Valley that is significant, an event we don't see coming right now, I'm not sure how much changes, because with rates staying high and people being locked into their house and people still moving here, I don't see where prices drop right now. Obviously, that is subject to change, and it's something we're watching really close. It's an election year. That adds another component of complexity to this. And if you haven't been paying attention to the lawsuit, as of what appears to be July 15th, the buyer compensation portion of the MLS listing is going to be completely gone. And so how the buyers pay their agents, or when and what that looks like, the structure of that is all yet to be determined. And so I think that, combined with rates, combined with election year, It's going to make for a really, really interesting spring and summer. I'm actually kind of excited. We'll see what happens with it. But people still want to live here, and so houses are going to sell and people are going to want to buy them. So if you're thinking of buying, if you're thinking of selling, if you have questions about all what this means, how it impacts you or your current situation, please reach out to us. Reach out to whoever you trust as a professional. We'd love to hear from you and see how we can help. Until next time, hope you guys have a great month, and we'll see you soon.